in coming before you, I ask His aid, His help, and that we're guided right. I'm going to take a little detour because in order for me to do what was said was to do part two. And with the time, there's just no way that I could really get into part two in great detail because it takes a lot of time for the clarity. And I just don't think it's necessary that we should just do it just to be doing it, because there's a reason why I'm standing before you. And didn't come to be seen, although I have to be seen in order to talk with you. We're in a situation that I think needs to be addressed. But before getting into that, I want to thank the Mosque's President Wharf Mohammed II, the staff, and the believers here at Mosque's for allowing me to have a few words with you today. I wasn't trained as a public speaker, but I started speaking when I come into the Nation of Islam. I'm told to do something that I've never been told before. But since I've been told, I got to do it. He said, talk louder. And that really has never been my problem. They always told me to tone it down. See Brother Mohammed back there, even when we're having general conversation and I get involved in it and get going, and he'll tell me, tone it down, tone it down. But there is something that I think is worth discussing as far as the schools are concerned. I understand that I think your public schools are being closed. I think that's correct from what I'm getting over the news. And by 2030, if not before, the public schools will be closed throughout the United States. Because, public education was one of the ways that we had somewhat of an opportunity to change our condition through education. And there are powers that be, and they just didn't start, that is not interested in African American males or females being successful in education. And they're on the move now to make some changes that's going to impact us greatly. Now, I hope I remember to tie this all together. Sister Clara Muhammad, who I think that we should talk about more, because the wisdom that showed up in what we call the first experience, I think all of our experience is the experience, because we have had one heck of an experience since 1619 in this country. So we didn't get any type of education until after 1865. Okay, so since the coming of education and we being involved, we've been struggling to be successful in education, and there's been many moves and many plays to keep us in a condition of servitude. The education that you're getting in the public schools right now is not teaching you to be an owner of anything. It's not teaching you to have power over anything. It's not teaching you to even have control of your own life. It is as it's for the reason that they brought us here as a slave, and when they took us from the slavery, they took us into servitude. All of us out here with those degrees, we're taught in school to serve the power structure. That's why when the brother's up talking business and he's talking about ownership and wealth, it goes like the brother in Arabic saying, like it's a foreign language. because we've been orientated. We've been conditioned to go a certain way. I'm not down in education, don't get it wrong. But we are being worked on right now. Our students right now get out with what they call a diploma. And we say, go get a job. With that paper or with that diploma, it doesn't qualify them for anything. Trade schools, a lot of our boys and girls, many boys are conditioned to work with their hands. And they've been good at it. Who you think built this country? We did. Our ancestors did it. And were good with their hands. So everyone is not going to get a college degree, or a bachelor's, a master's, or a PhD. But they could be very good plumbers, electricians, and other people. But what they did in my city, I don't know about your city, after 1964, they took the trades out of the schools. Wood shop, metal shop, the electrical work, all of that got out. So you drive around and you see construction sites and you notice that we're on the construction site with a sign telling people where to go. That's low level employment. The guy that's getting $48 an hour don't look like what I'm looking at out here. That's what they have done. So when they're approached by when the trade unions and when the teachers association is approached, they say, well, we don't have any qualified African American students. We say, then let's get the trades back in school. Well, the union don't want them back in. So they playing this again. The system that Imam Mohammed knew about, and he put it out. That's why I'm hoping and praying that Wallace D. Muhammad II continuing to do what he's doing. It is necessary that we keep the language just like he left it. You can build on the language, but stay in context. I hear a lot of people, they have these meetings, imams across the country, you're out of context. Many times you're out of context. Stay in context, because you can grow if you stay in the context. And if you want him to have a happy life in the afterlife, it's what we do in this life in his absence. Wouldn't it be a shame, or isn't it a shame, if we don't step up to what is necessary for our children and ourselves so they will not be set up for servitude? Your own schools. Now, I don't know why we've fallen away from it. It's obvious we need it. They didn't bring us here to have our own. We were here to pick cotton. There's no more cotton to pick. They brought a cotton picker into my state where I was at 9 years old in 1947. The average man could pick, a good cotton picker in a good field could pick about 20 pounds of cotton per hour. The cotton picker picked 1,000. That's when my dad and many families relocated to the Midwest, Detroit, Chicago, and other areas where the plants was, to get employment. Because they didn't need that type of work on the farm anymore. Senators like Eastland out of Mississippi got paid what they complained about for poor people now, subsidies, which is nothing but welfare. Not to farm certain crops. These are things that happen to us as a people, and we got to get on the job. On the job. Now, I'm 74 years old, but my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren are not. They got to live here in America because anybody going anywhere. Let's get that together. No one is going anyplace. So we have to qualify to get in position where policies are made, and policies are made in government. Don't tell me they're going to do what they want to do, so you sit back and do nothing. Get involved. Right. Get involved and make things happen for your children and your grandchildren. Now, something happened when the brother Adrian was talking about God knew what was inculcated in Mecca with Prophet Muhammad. He also knew what was happening in America with Imam Deen Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
We take it lightly, but it's very serious. There's no way